Welcome to Innova's YouTube channel, and thanks for tuning in to my practice round on the back 9 of the Infinite Disc course, and shout out to Gatekeeper Media for coming out here and spending the day with me. This hole I'm going to try out every year of Jennifer Allen TeeBirds and see which one I want. Let's check some stability here. Nope, burned it. Okay, so this year's one more pop top. So I'm afraid it's going to be a little flippy, but maybe not. Not bad. So trying to lay up on this one, I think it's what, 380 to the hole. So it's kind of an awkward distance. So last couple of years, I've just been trying to lay up. It's 340 to the front of that bunker. So this was last year's TeeBird. A lot of safe room on that right side. So I kind of aim over there and try not to accidentally skip in the bunker. I think we'll just stick with that. Again, there's a lot of room on the right, so I try to kind of play a wide hyzer and let it kind of skip toward the fence versus throwing it straight ahead and risking skipping to the left out of bounds. So that's a pretty good safe play. That one's not as safe. So definitely don't want to risk anything like that. So I'm going to try to play this a little bit wider. Yeah. Play it just straight, I'm going to end up skipping. With these destroyers, skip pretty hard, so I will write my little book, make sure to stay right even though I know it, so that way I double think about it before I play to hopefully not make that mistake and go out of bounds. Yeah, we'll just do one right here. Oh, beep. Okay, so we can have a little putter talk on the next hole since these boys are waiting on us, but I try to make myself practice them because it is my worst arch enemy right now, my demons I'm dealing with in my head. And I probably should have really took my time like I would in a tournament. Stop, take a deep breath, and focus on every one of them. So yeah, talk about that in a second. I don't need it, but I definitely always keep some good tape in the bag just in case. Occasionally have to work on people, bring a little therapy, bring a little work into golf. I've definitely taped ankles on the course. Intertwine my work and second work a little bit. Again, a lot of 175 destroyers. That white one is probably one of my most stable ones in the bag. Oh. Why am I aiming off? Okay. Good time to talk about that putting probably, huh? Did I leave that? Is that mine? Just rolling at your head? Okay, so 250. So I'm going to try a couple different things. I'm going to try to skip a Firebird. I'm going to see how the Cayman skips and settles, and then I'm going to try a putter straight at it as well. So. Oh, that was a little too low. Stay. Oh, so it hit 100 feet off the tee pad there and still past the basket, I guess, but short holes. This one's a little more brand new. That Cayman's been in the bag for probably a couple years or so. I usually keep disc in my bag unless I lose them. So 2-3 years into it, I try to start breaking in some new ones just in case. Nope. Sit. Can't get out of the bunker. Oh, missed it. Hey, stranger. How are you? Good. I wish I could always carry this many putters to have putting practice the whole round. Same disc, same spot. I found mud on this dry dirt.
It looked like it hit
Did
the
it?
ball.
I was gonna say short. Oh, nope, that's bird. This old baby has been in the bag for a long time as well, and I'm gonna have to replace it, sadly. It's getting a little flippy, but we'll see if I can go through the middle. No, no, two beaten.
Wow, that one over that bush I told you.
Yeah, I just thought I'd get it from the other side.
Yeah.
Nope, a little low. Okay, find the other ones. So the turn. Lost disc with 3 cameras and 6 extra guys watching. 583, 430 to the green. We're all learning. You need to go really wide on 15. So I'll just throw a few and see if I'm gonna throw like a fairway driver and just play it safe, really short, and just try to get a good par. This is like as close as I can play that. If I could have that every time, that'd be great. Just wanted to see a few different places on the fairway to see maybe there's a better approach in at one side of the green or the other. Something you don't see very often. I've been trying, I guess I consider all last year almost an off season, to work in the forehand a little bit more. This is probably a pretty good distance for me. I don't have any distance on it at all, but just to practice that approach from the other side. If only they always came off that clean. So that was an AVR3. This is the Cayman.
The older one?
The old one, yeah. I'm really glad I finally, after 20 years, decided to try the forehand again. I tried it in the past. I have 2 pins in my elbow from gymnastics. So in the beginning when I was playing, I tried to throw them as drivers, killed the elbow, so I literally just never tried again. I just threw left-handed instead. So this year, just getting putters and the mids, working on just a soft up shot game with it. I'm really happy I finally tried it again. Forehand shots did good. Something that during a round, it's not doing them a lot. I'll hope to get a lot more comfortable in trusting it. So that was a destroyer. 345 is kind of a tweener distance, depending on how wide I have to play it. So I'm gonna try the max. The max, to me, I love the max. It's been a disc that I love throwing for years and years. This one's pretty old, so it's not as stable as a brand new max at all. It'll hold its flight straight for me. But the max to me is a disc that's in between the Firebird and the destroyer. So shorter, 320 or so, maybe Firebird, max a little bit further, destroyer, 360, 400. So that's why I choose the max. Might have went further than the destroyer. They're pretty close. Oh, I can reach just inside 5-4 range. That's pretty tall. But yeah, definitely will come out here and putt a few at this, just because being so short, that's a little bit, I don't try to putt that high very often. So definitely will come back out and do some putting practice on that tall thing. It's nice to come back every year to the same course and know, like, okay, this is what I threw last year. If I have notes from previous years, I always save old players' books and stuff like that. So it's nice to know and remember, this is how this always played. Your game changes a little bit, but I always like coming back and playing the same courses year after year on a lot of these big events. But these changes are nice, so we'll see how they play out. But I don't mind the same course every single year, unless it needs to change. I like throwing it's 175. I like the Champion plastic Firebirds. I've never really thrown the Star ones. I throw Star Destroyers and not Champion. I don't know why, I just always have. That plays longer than 301, right?
Yeah, that's around the tree, so.
We'll see when we get up there. We'll try mid. This seems longer than 301 to me, but we'll see. So new hole, try 3 different discs, get up there, see which one we'll like, so I don't have to come back and do it again. Pro tip, if you get these rocks out of the way, you might not bust your butt when you try to jump putt. So the Max had enough distance to kind of make it around. We couldn't see this from the tee box, but hopefully you wouldn't get in the middle of that. Looks like there's out of bounds, pretty tight along the back. So this is a maybe 300-foot hole, but pretty hard ending hole. We'll finish with a couple of made putts. So we briefly talked earlier about putting, and I made the little comment that I'm a really good practice putter. I'm actually a really good putter. Stress can do some crazy things. I know we all go through the putting roller coasters of confidence and not, and the yips and whatnot. So definitely a few tournaments lately that I just felt like literally not control of my arm. So I would change it up and do turbo or flip putt or stuff that I never done, because it completely removed the pressure from putting. And why that happens to us, I don't know. I will blame, I guess, the stress of last year, COVID and moving my daughter home, and was I going to play in a tournament, or was it going to get canceled, or was Arizona banned? So there was a very stressful year, even though I really didn't actually play golf. Playing the little that I did last year, didn't realize that that was a part of it. And so I would go to play during the tournament and literally would like freeze up and lock up my arm because of anxiety, which at the time I didn't know. So definitely it's cute when people will say on the little tournaments that they've seen me lately, you know, putting with turbos and flipping the putts and stuff like that, or just laying up. I did it because there was no stress in making that putt. I don't ever practice those putts, and it's enough stress already dealing with that. So change my putt to try to work through it. But the cute little comments of, you need to practice putting. Well, I know I do. And I'm actually a really great putter. Practicing putting is great. The little bit of just added pressure of tournaments with the anxiety that carried over from last year and into this year just played into my game, and I'm really excited. I'm working extremely hard to overcome that. So thank you for everyone with all the supportive comments on putting, and for those of you working on your putting game as well. And they give some just normal stress of tournaments that we deal with. Know that everyone deals with it, and pros, AMs, beginners, everyone goes through it, and life is stressful, and it all plays into that. So take care of yourself physically, mentally, and put yourself first, and hopefully we can all get through this. So thank you so much for the support. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching my practice round on the Infinite Discourse. And please tune in and subscribe to Innova's YouTube channel as well as Gatekeeper Media. Give them some support. And also I would like to thank Innova and Grip Bags for supporting me and all of you as well. Thanks so much.